Ashton Middle Martinez for Fight Club Rush. I'm here with David Jacobsson, who faces Ramos in the main event of FCR 11 on March 26th. And finally, it's been a long time coming, but once again, you are back on the main stage at a main event after returning to the win column earlier last year. How are you feeling about getting what could very well be the biggest fight of your career so far?
I mean, every fight is the biggest fight of your career, right? Every fight. But I mean, now we're here, great production value and main event. I will call myself the main man in the main event. And I feel good. I'm prepared. I'm ready. I have a good, strong team, solid team behind me this time. I mean, this time I'm not coming up as a self-coached like fighter with my brothers and friends in the corners or a fight podcast duo. Like now I'm prepared. I have a good foundation, good team, and yeah, I feel comfortable. I feel ready. I've done everything I could have, so I'm confident in myself and in my preparations.
Like you said, the main man in the main event, because you're definitely more of a talker out of the two of you. Your opponent, Ramos, is a bit more of a stoic, kind of a quiet guy. How does it feel sort of carrying all the trash talk and energy on your shoulders, as so to speak?
I wouldn't say that I'm trash talking, though. I mean,
that's a fair point.
You saw us before. I mean, we're shaking hands, and it's a fair play. But I mean, I don't talk trash. I speak my mind, right? If I see something, if I feel something, if I think of something in particular, I will call it out. I will say it. That's the difference between me and a lot of guys. They don't want to speak their minds. They don't want to talk what they're thinking because they're afraid of if they lose, they'll look bad. That's the fucking game. I mean, he's here to win. I'm here to win. But I mean, it doesn't change the fact that I think that I'm better than him. He probably feels that he's good enough to beat me, but he's not really saying it though. So that's just the difference. That I speak my mind.
That's a very fair point, and I think a lot of fans have sort of appreciated that honesty and your personality. Majority of your career, or the beginning of it, was fought outside of Sweden. Now you're finally back in the past couple of years, and it feels like you've become a little bit of a favorite amongst the Swedish fans. Do you sort of feel that you're establishing yourself here on the Nordic scene?
Yeah, but I mean, so I had a title fight in Denmark in 2018, I think, and nobody gave a shit about it. So now I mean, as the MMA scene in Sweden is growing, we're getting more and better MMA media platforms and shows like FCR, who's leading the way in Scandinavia now. So there's just a lot of more eyes on MMA and on me this time, which is I mean, of course, it's very good for building a career. And like now we're in UFC Fight Pass, and I've heard like Brett Okamoto is coming to the card tomorrow, and yeah, that's super cool, really.
And how do you feel about that? You know, main event on UFC Fight Pass, ESPN is going to be here. This is coverage unlike anything else, and really it's something that could lead to a future fight in the octagon. Do you let yourself think about that kind of stuff, or do you just focus at the task at hand?
I mean, even since I was a kid, like 15, 3 years before I even started training, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be in the fucking UFC someday. And I just had a feeling like, this is what I want to do. And of course, everybody I told it to, they thought I was crazy, right? But now we're here. I mean, I'm just a few good wins away. Of course, the end goal is always UFC, and not only, as I said before, not only just to get into the UFC and be happy about it. When I get to the UFC, I'll be ready to smash faces and throw skulls, right? So that's the plan. When I get there, I'm gonna be ready to be a contender, not just hanging in the bottom. Like I don't want to be a bottom fish, as I said in the previous interview.
And to those people who did call you crazy when you said, I'm going to be in the UFC one day, here you are, I mean, just kind of at the doorstep, really. What's your message for those people who doubted you?
Nah, I mean, I don't have a message for those, really, but, I mean, so mostly I kept it quiet. But people are always going to doubt because they don't.
You're just a skinny guy from Halmstad, right?
Skinny guy who eats a lot of food. But yeah, I mean, so they don't think you can do it because they can't themselves, right? So I just kept grinding. I was in the gym every day, every week. And, I mean, doing it from YouTube and watching, like, breakdowns, tutorials. Watching the UFC, I mean, I've probably watched 10 times as many hours as the average fighter. I'm pretty sure, like breakdowns and actual footage and fights. I started fighting because of the UFC. I started training because of the UFC, and now, as I said, I have a good team behind me. I have like the best boxing coach in Scandinavia. I have the best Muay Thai coach in Scandinavia. I train at a great gym with a lot of training partners. And what like Paula Cofelli's done with my hands this last year. I mean, hopefully I get to show it tomorrow.
Well, you have all the makings for being able to show it because obviously you've got that reach, and I know you've been working on your boxing. How much do you expect your reach to come into play tomorrow night?
So I think, like since the last few fights, I've never threw a jab in a fight. So I mean, I think I did at least 8 pro fights without throwing a single jab in a fight. Like I mean, I didn't have much of an amateur career, but amateur, even Thai boxing and pro MMA, I didn't throw a fucking jab. So now when I can fight, I mean, I'm comfortable with behind my jab, and I have such good grappling that if he tries to take me down, that would be the end of him. I'm pretty certain, right? I mean, I compare myself to those in the gym. A lot of guys preparing for a fight in the UFC Contender Series, and I get to compare myself to those and Bellator fighters. So I mean, if he tries to take me down, that will be the end of him. So I will probably get to use my boxing this time.
Well, I know that you've been looking forward to doing that, and you've got a game dance partner, a dangerous guy, a hard hitter. How high would you rank him in terms of like how dangerous how high would you rank him compared to your other opponents in terms of danger?
I've fought a few guys that if you get hit, you're fucked. Like my last fight, it was in 80 kilos. The guy weighed in, it was supposed to be at 77. Yeah. In 77, I'm a small guy. So there was in 77, he weighed in at 82 kilos. And you could feel when he threw those overhands and hooks, like one of those on the chin, and the night is done. He for certain hit harder than Stramanis. I'm not saying he's better, because he's not. But guy hits harder. I fought another guy in 80 kilos in Bahrain.
Ibrahim Mane.
Yeah, he hits harder than Stramanis. He's 10 more kilos. I mean, the guy is huge. His arms double my size, right? And he's taller. Mm-hmm. I fought a heavy hitter, Boo Gavin in the UK. Top prospect, the guy knocked out everybody in amateur. Like, knocked out everybody. Probably a better striker than Stramanis also. But that being said, Stramanis has a very good style against me. Like, a pressure boxer is probably the best style you can make to fight me. Right? If I were to create a style, like to be my kryptonite, let's say, it would be a pressure boxer. So he has a very good style against me. He hits fucking hard. I'm telling you, like, from his last fights. And very impressive endurance and pace. But I still think I'm the better boxer than him. So, but he is good for certain. But I mean, I can't rank him like overall in MMA because everybody is so different in different stuff. Like my second pro fight, 2017, Ian Feenan, they were trying to build him for the UFC. So I mean, I fought a lot of good guys.
I mean, that would be hard to deny. That is why you are billed as the more experienced and routine guy. Rounding off then, what can fans, both out on UFC Fight Pass but also in the arena tomorrow, expect from your very first main event here on home soil?
Yeah, so none of Stramanis' fights are boring, right? He comes forward, brings the fight, and that is the main reason why I wanted to fight. Because none of his fights are boring. He'll be in my face, and he has a plan A. His plan A, be in my face, like make it dirty, try to knock me out, or at least pressure with boxing. If his plan A fails, he's fucked. He's fucked. That's how it is. So, but I expect him to come forward and try to push the pace, make me work, try to knock me out, and then I'll deal with it in different ways. I have plan A, B, C, D, down to the last fucking letters in the alphabet, right? And so that's why I feel comfortable. I have different options to deal with his plan A.
Well, there you have it. Whether it's plan A, B, R, W, or Z, I'm sure there will be excitement in store when David Slimboy Jacobsson collides with Ramos Stramanis in the main event. Sorry, Fatboy Slim collides with Ramos Stramanis in the main event of Fight Club Rush 11 tomorrow night. Thank you very much. Good luck in the fight.